These comments are for Peter. Peter, as I struggle with my grief at losing you, two memories speak to me, memories that touch my heart and reveal so much of the person you were. The first moment was seeing you on stage, alone, performing your music at a Madison nightclub, doing your thing. It was not music that I personally understood, but I understood what you were doing. Your creativity to make your own music, the passion to grow as an artist and performer, the guts to put yourself up on stage in front of an audience, and the love to invite me to bear witness to it all, not once but many times. That is a gift you gave me that I will cherish as long as I live. The second moment came years earlier, when I drove you home from a week-long summer camp for high school students at the Iowa Writers Workshop. Peter was also a writer, not captured in these videos here. Your biggest work from that week in the camp was a short story called Lily. You were eager to read it to me, right there in the car. And as you read it to me, I was captivated by the beauty and poignancy of your story, of a man struggling with his regrets. It reflected a mature inner life and perspective. And subtly embedded in the narrative was a voice struggling to reconcile his parents' divorce and express his love for them both. I realized then that you were a great artist, able to transmute private pain into public beauty. Peter, artists with that talent all face the same problem. The beauty they create does not lessen the pain they live with, and sometimes the pain becomes too much. You join a long list of other artists: Ernest Hemingway, Kurt Cobain, Diane Arbus. I could go on. But while you never attained the fame of these creators, you shared with them a talent for expressing inner turmoil that brought you both glory and destruction. The awful irony of it all is that your life had so much joy and so much to live for. The videos and phone montages we have seen today are woefully incomplete because they do not tell the story of your pain. They do not portray the events that tore your heart in two, or the long periods of estrangement between us. And they do not reveal the suffering of the last year of your life. But the story they do tell is nonetheless true. You brought a lot of joy and happiness to the people in your life, and this grieving father will miss you forever. Indeed, Peter, your life was a complex mystery. In your many happy moments, I also sensed you were fighting a strain of loneliness and sense of inadequacy. And in the periods where you refused to see me, the bits of evidence that trickled through suggested that your stance became performative, sustained by pride, not conviction, and that you were resisting an inner desire to connect with me again. I could sense that raging within you were feelings for me of love and anger that you could never resolve. There was much more to your inner life than feelings about your father, of course, but I always believed that if we could have had an honest airing of those feelings, it would open the door to understanding all the conflicting forces in your soul. We never had that conversation, and that is my greatest regret. But we were getting close. Twice in the last 18 months of your life, you asked me to begin family therapy with you, just the two of us. First, though, you needed individual counseling to prepare, so I waited. But then your fear and paranoia got in the way and derailed our plans to plumb the depths of our relationship. I would have paid any price, borne any burden, to have that therapy with you, a chance to explore our relationship where the emotional dynamics were fully transparent, where all wrongs were acknowledged, and where a path to forgiveness is forged was a holy grail I desired more than anything else in this life. The tragedy of my life, and perhaps yours, is that you and I will never have that. If that moment had happened, there are many things I would have wanted to tell you. If you are listening from the next world, I will take this opportunity to say a few of them now. Peter, I am sorry that your mother and I could not reconcile our differences, for all the pain our divorce caused you, and that you were denied the dream of a happy, intact nuclear family. I am sorry for my part in your inheritance of anger, of bequeathing to you the dreaded Wootton curse. I am sorry I never kept my promise while you were alive to adapt your short story, Lily, into a film. It would have made such a good movie. And I'm sorry for anything I ever did that made you doubt yourself, your talents and abilities, and above all, to doubt my boundless love, admiration, and respect for you. Suicide is sometimes interpreted as an act of revenge, to hurt those left behind. If I am honest, I feel hurt. I feel robbed of the chance to unpack our relationship, to heal old wounds, and grow closer than ever. But I am not angry. I am not angry because I am certain of one thing. You wanted to inflict pain on no one. And the one who suffered most of all was you. I know this because of a number of times you sought treatment for thoughts of suicide. I know this because of how thoroughly you documented and expressed the relentless onslaught of the monsters attacking your brain in the last year of your life. And I know this because the first time you needed treatment, you wanted both me and your mother with you in the hospital. It was the sincerest cry for help and the clearest plea for relief from the agony our conflicts caused you. Finally, I know this because of how hard you worked to maintain your mental health. You followed your medication regimen, you kept your appointments, and every day refused to let your disease define you. I watched with pride as you embraced life in this world, displaying talents and intelligence that far exceeded my wildest dreams for you. But I was proudest of all of how, year after year, you courageously fought the demons swirling around you. It all became too much. Everyone has their breaking point, the moment where they cannot bear the pain any longer. You reached yours. You just could not fight anymore. I cannot be angry. I am just so sorry that living became unbearable for you. That is not the life a father wants for his son. I struggle to understand the meaning of your choice to pay me and Jill an overnight visit the day before you ended your life. I will pore over the events of those hours, your dark mood, and our failure to recognize what it meant. In those hours, despite your obvious gloom, you showed many small acts of kindness, and I am tormented by the memory that my response was always to say, no thank you. I am grateful that the next morning, when we said goodbye in the driveway, you told me you loved me, and I told you I love you. It was a moment we shared alone. But I didn't feel good as I watched you drive away. And despite the advice so many have given me, I feel a lot of guilt for my actions in those last hours. On that night, 2 weeks after your death, did you truly visit us again in the form of a dragonfly? Was that you buzzing and thrashing at our sliding door, insisting on being allowed in? If the legend is true that a visit from a dragonfly is the visit of a deceased relative bearing a message, then I take some comfort from that. As strange as it may sound to the audience on earth hearing these words right now, Your actions that night told us you still love us, you forgive us, and you want us to watch over your brother. It sounds crazy to take absolution from an insect, but there was a clarity in your actions that I cannot interpret any other way. And this time, in your departure, a moment you again shared with me alone, just as you did 2 weeks earlier, I felt good. This time, as I watched you depart, zooming into the heavens, you seemed to be on a mission. You had places to go, and you were happy and excited to get started on your next adventure. As a father, I have always tried to accept your choices and find the good in them. When it comes to your final choice, Peter, that is a very hard thing to do. But with all you suffered in this life, I accept it. And if indeed it was you that I released and saw fly skyward until you disappeared from view, I know that at last your soul is free, and that where you are happy and whole, and that you know you are loved.